I'm going to start with Manipur. A shocking, horrifying, nauseating video. 3 months old violence leading to 160 deaths and political posturing. This, of course, is Manipur that we are talking about. A few days ago, a video emerged on social media of 2 women being paraded naked by a mob of men. They were being groped, and at least one of them was allegedly gang raped after that particular video. All of this led to frenzied action and horror all across the country. The Prime Minister broke his silence. The Lok Sabha went into a breakdown on the first day of the monsoon session over the incident. Calling the act an incident that shamed India, the Prime Minister said that there would be the strictest of action against the perpetrators. Meanwhile, there were demands for the resignation of the Chief Minister, Biren Singh. He also came out and said that he was going to be asking for capital punishment in this particular case. But is this an isolated incident? Let's remember, the internet has been blocked in the state of Manipur for more than 2 months, and that's something that people have been questioning. Why? Because it is very possible that other such horror stories have gone unnoticed. The Chief Minister himself said it. He said there have been hundreds of FIRs, so you don't really know how bad the situation has been. Remember, since the 3rd of May, the day of the first protest march against the Meitei tribe's demand for scheduled tribe status, the state has seen continuous violence. The majority Meitei community and the tribal Kukis have been at loggerhead for generations, but it's now spiraled into violence. Earlier, the clashes were for resources. In earlier history and later, then the fighting became about political representation and government SOPs. This time, however, the fight has come out into the open. It's become the cause of social unrest and actual violence. Now, what have we seen? The military has been deployed in parts. Curfew has been imposed to try and control the situation. Now, the new video, purportedly from the 4th of May, has, of course, sent shockwaves globally. But it also leads to broader questions. What actions can a civilized society and its laws take to return basic decency back to the victims, to give some justice to the families of the dead? And then there are broader questions also. Yes, this video has spurred everyone to come out and talk about it. The National Human Rights Commission has finally woken up out of its slumber and has asked about this. You've had various government institutions coming out and talking about it. The Chief Justice of the Supreme Court said if the government's not going to act, then we're going to be coming out and acting. You've had the Chief Minister saying that capital punishment should potentially be considered in this case. And perhaps most important of them all, 4 arrests were made. Within a few hours of that video coming out, 4 arrests were made. But that also begs the obvious question. Why did it require a video to come out on social media? Why did it require nauseating and horrifying pictures to be placed before India and before the world, before those arrests were made, before actual action was taken on FIRs that were actually filed 2 months ago? That's a major question that we are all going to have to think about. Surely, it shouldn't require either videos to come out or for there to be media attention before steps and decisive steps are taken to make sure that acts of violence like this cannot happen. And a second question that I think all of us have to think about is that, yes, I can completely understand why you might have to have clampdowns on the internet and on social media. Why? Because the internet and social media can be used to trigger and instigate fresh violence. Sometimes that is exactly what happens. WhatsApp groups or Facebook or Instagram being used to instigate violence. But sometimes what can also happen is, as happened perhaps in this case, if those pictures and those videos are not coming out, if the media is not doing its job, if people are not finding out what is actually happening in a particular place, then a long period of time can be spent and wasted before action is actually taken. And in that time, lives can be lost, decency can be violated, the rights of women can be stamped upon, and absolute horror stories like this can actually play themselves out. So I guess there's a balance somewhere that is going to have to be found, and we're going to have to think about that really, really closely. But for the moment, these are just some of the statements that have been coming out in the last 2 days. since that video came out.